Hello everyone, my name is Marina Miranyuk. I'm currently working for International Language Center. I'm the Director of Studies and the CELT-P CELT-S trainer. That's why today we are going to talk about these two projects. I'm going to answer a few questions during this session. Question number 1, what are they? Question number 2, why do you need them? And question number 3, what are the requirements for taking the course? Let's start.
So, what is CELT-P? CELT-P is Certificate in English Language Teaching for primary schools, for primary kids. And CELT-S is Certificate in English Language Teaching for secondary schools. Both of them are Cambridge courses. If you look at this nice scale of courses from Cambridge, you will find CELT-P and CELT-S here. Right? Almost at the same level as CELTA. Well, CELTA is Certificate in English Language Teaching to Adults, and there is nothing about kids. That's why Cambridge decided to start these courses, CELT-P and CELT-S. What I would say that initially it was supposed to be post-CELTA course, CELT-P, CELT-S. But later on, and especially with the prices and with the requests, CELT-P and CELT-S now considered to be kind of separate courses, and you don't have to have CELTA to take CELT-P and CELT-S. Who is this course for, and what is this course for? This course is to support teachers, those teachers who work in secondary schools, in compulsory education sector, in schools, governmental schools, state schools. And also it's a door to some professional development and professional opportunities. I would say about our school, ILC, we demand CELTA from our teachers. So we accept only those teachers who have that course, but now we also consider those having CELT-P and CELT-S. Of course, these teachers who have only CELT-P or CELT-S, they do not work with adults, only with corresponding levels, but still, it's an opportunity because it's official Cambridge course. What is the difference between CELT-P and CELT-S? The difference is between the ages you would like to teach and you would like to specialize in. Course CELT-P, as you remember, it is called primary. It is aimed at working with little kids, age from 6 to 12. CELT-S is more for those who work with elder children, age 11, 18. And the difference is in content, obviously, and a little bit in structure. But we will look at it a little bit later. Course structure. What do we have there? They are similar, CELT-P and CELT-S. That's why all these issues apply to both of them. There are line modules. Depending on the course, there is different number of modules. In CELT-P, there is one. So in CELT-P, we have a little bit more modules than in CELT-S. There is practical component, portfolio tasks, and teaching practice. Portfolio tasks are after each module. So, for example, if you have 8 modules in CELT-S, it means there are 8 portfolio tasks. And if there are 9 modules in CELT-P, you have 9 portfolio tasks, obviously. Teaching practice, in both courses, there are 3 lessons you have to teach. There are also trainer-led face-to-face seminars. It means that if you do not live in Kyiv, but you take course with our school, you will have to come to Kyiv. So you come to school for these face-to-face seminars with trainers of our school, or any other center you take course with. In total, the course provides you with 120 hours of learning and studying. Let's look at it in more detail. Online modules first. What do they consist of? Every online module provides you with a lot of theory. And this theory consists of some key aspects of the focus of the module. Some information, how to do it, how to teach it, and of course, a lot of terminology. Also, in each module, there is a range of activities. These activities can be easily applied to your own class, to your own studying. So you look at them, you analyze them, and see if you can use them in your own class. Also, in every online module, there are progress tests. They are not very difficult, but the progress tests are aimed to check if you learned the theory, if you learned the material. Maybe you need to revise something, maybe you need to look through some of tasks again, just to make sure that you progress, you study. And as I told you, in CELT-P, we have 9 modules. So correspondingly 9 sections in which you have theory, activities, and tests. And in CELT-S, you have 8 modules. Well, let's continue talking about online modules. What do we have in them and how do they look? One of modules in both courses, CELT-P and CELT-S, is devoted to classroom management. What is that about? It is about group work, pair work, open class. It is about giving feedback. It is about monitoring how your students do the tasks. It is about presenting material, about using different technology in class. It is about different questions, how to check that your students understand what to do. If this is about questions, how to check if the students understand the material you teach them. One more module is about planning. In that module, you are going to look at lesson plans, look at the stages, how to reach the aims, how to put parts and bits and pieces of your lesson into correct order so that you achieve your aims and get necessary results. There are modules on developing skills, on developing reading, on developing writing, listening, and speaking. When you study these modules, you learn how to plan these lessons, how to make sure that you develop your students' skills, how to make sure that it's actually speaking, not, for example, oral production of some material. How to make sure that it's actually writing, not simply copying from the book. What to do to develop listening, because actually quite often we do not develop listening skills. We simply give the task, turn on our audio, and then after that, check if your students have done the task. The same with reading. How to make sure that students develop their reading skills. Not only, again, give the task, please, students, read the text, answer the questions, and that's it. You will also see how it is possible to develop, again, reading skills without translating the text, and how to teach English without using Russian or Ukrainian. There will be some modules, one module on language awareness. What is language awareness? Language awareness is actually understanding what this or that grammar structure means, how it is used, how it is formed, how it is pronounced. Also, language awareness is about difficulties, predicting difficulties you students might have. So when you take a grammar structure, you look at it, you analyze it from the point of view, again, meaning, form, and pronunciation, and you also think what problems you students might have and how to avoid them. What to do if the problem occurs at your lesson. Then there is a module on teaching language. What is teaching language? It is teaching grammar, vocabulary, and functional language. In this module, you will see how to do that, what are the stages of the lesson, how to make sure that your students learn this grammar, learn this vocabulary, learn this functional language, and to make sure that they use it in their real life situations. And one of the modules is about assessment. How to evaluate your students' progress. How to understand that they actually progress, that they learn something. How to show our students that they learn. How to praise them. How to correct their mistakes. How to give them feedback on what they have produced during the lesson, what they have done during the lesson. And is it about marks only? No, it is not. It is about constant assessing of the progress of your students, and not necessarily in marks, and not necessarily tests. What about face-to-face practical seminars? As I told you before, it is one of the parts of the course. And for these face-to-face practical seminars, trainees, those who are doing the course, are expected to come to exam centers, training centers, for some work with other trainees and with the trainer of the course. Actually, Cambridge says that these face-to-face practical seminars can be conducted after each module. But we know that this course is taken not only from those who live in Kiev, but also taken by teachers from all over Ukraine. And it's obvious that it is very difficult to come 9 times, 10 times to Kiev for these face-to-face seminars. That's why, again, as Cambridge says, these seminars can be conducted after each module, after second, third, or even every fourth module. We decided to do it after every second. So we conduct these seminars after every second module. And I would like to draw your attention that after, not before. It means that first you look at the modules, these 2 modules. You study material yourself. You try to apply this material yourself. And only then you come and receive extra information from the trainers. Because again, it's extra information. It's not retelling the material of online modules. In our center, we conduct approximately 6 seminars per course. What is included? As you have seen above, these are face-to-face seminars after every second module. We also have, I would say, we start from induction seminar, where you are taught how to use the platform, what the course consists of, what to do on the platform, and how to communicate with your trainers. And there is one more extra seminar before TKT exam, but I will tell you about exam a little bit later. And as I've already told you, these face-to-face practical seminars have several aims. The aims are: you get extra material on the topics of the modules. You develop them more. You maybe, with the help of the trainer, and this maybe will understand something deeper, look at some points deeper. If you have some questions during working with these online materials, you can ask your trainer during these sessions. Also, now when we are staying at home and working from home, personally what I like is talking to my colleagues, discussing some questions, burning questions. Or simply, if I teach the group and I know that my colleague is teaching absolutely the same group of the same level, of the same age, when we were together in the office, we could exchange our experience. We could help each other with materials, with some ideas. Unfortunately, now we are alone at homes in front of the screen, and we're still exchanging, we're still helping each other, but it's not the same. And if you are talking about the CELT-P, CELT-S courses, if your colleagues or other teachers who you work with, if nobody took this course before, you don't have a person to discuss it with. That's why during these face-to-face seminars, you can exchange your experience on taking the course. You can exchange your feelings, share your feelings, help each other, support each other. What is very interesting, we come from different backgrounds, teaching backgrounds. And during these sessions, we actually learn from each other. To tell you the truth, when I was conducting sessions, I myself learned a lot of interesting activities, found out about interesting activities from the teachers, from our trainees. And it's valuable, really valuable, because again, as we are from different backgrounds, we do things differently and sometimes do not understand that, do not realize that it can be done in a different way. And you are given more practice. If you look at the title, I paraphrase the name, because in the description of the course it is called face-to-face seminars. I added the word practical. Why did I do that? Because actually it's not lecture. The trainer doesn't lecture you. You get a lot of tasks. You do the task with your peers, in pairs, in groups, sometimes individually. So actually it's learning by doing. And doing the tasks, first of all, you have to come up with conclusions yourself, and you also receive some practical ideas, more practical ideas, what to do during the class. Usually, if you're talking again about the seminars, they are conducted on Saturdays, and for each module, you are provided with 2-hour seminars. So again, if you conduct them after every second module, it means that during this Saturday, you are busy from 10 to around 16, maybe a little bit earlier. But it's with 1-hour break, so don't be scared. Not too long, but again, be ready to work hard. And again, if we calculate, these seminars are conducted approximately once in 1.5 months. Well, let's come back to practical component. Again, if you remember, practical component consists of two parts. First is portfolio tasks, and second one is teaching practice. Portfolio tasks are written after each module. And teaching practice consists of 3 lessons observed by the trainer. Each lesson is 40 minutes long. 2 of the lessons are formative, let's say to practice, to understand how the trainer evaluated. There are several reasons to do them. Yeah? First of all, you apply material you've learned. You try how it works. Also, one more important reason to do them is to see what trainers pay attention to, how the lessons are evaluated, what is important to include into your lesson, what should be there, how they have to be conducted. And the last, 3rd lesson is a summative lesson. It means that the result of this teaching practice will influence your overall result of the course. Again, that's why it is important to do 2 formative lessons to prepare yourself for the last one, for the summative lesson. If you're talking about observations, ideally these are lessons observed by the trainer in real life. And again, as it was already mentioned, one of the parts of CELT-P CELT-S course is TKT exam. It is included into the course. For CELT-S, it is TKT Module 1. It is about language and background to language learning and teaching. And for CELT-P, it is TKT Young Learners. So in fact, you, by the end of the course, when you finish the course, you get 2 certificates. One certificate is for the CELT-P or CELT-S course, and the second one is for example, for taking exam TKT with the result of your exam. TKT, either Module 1 or TKT Young Learner. If you have taken this exam before and you have the result, you have your certificate, you bring the copy of the certificate, and you don't need to take the exam again. But one more option, instead of this particular, I mean, if you have, you are taking, let's imagine you are taking CELT-S and you already have TKT Module 1, you can take any other exam. It's kind of your choice, but Module 1 for CELT-S is obligatory and TKT Young Learner is obligatory for CELT-P. You cannot take only CELT-P without TKT. You cannot take only CELT-S without TKT Module 1. To sum up about the course, what we have here in it, we have online course materials, which you study yourself. We have portfolio tasks after each module. We have teaching practice 3, and we have externally marked tests, either TKT Module 1 or TKT Young Learner. So what do we need to pass this course, CELT-P or CELT-S course? You have to complete all online modules. And when you are doing the modules, it is very important to tick necessary boxes. There are a lot of boxes there, so you have to tick them. That will show that you learned all the modules, all the material. You have to attend seminars. It's very important because, as I mentioned, you get more information, you develop your knowledge, you exchange experience, you learn something, and if something was not clear for you in online materials, you can discuss it with your trainer during these seminars. You will have to submit all portfolio tasks. So you have to do all portfolio tasks and upload them onto the platform. And you have to teach, and obviously you have to pass your teaching practice, last summative teaching practice. You have to pass TKT or bring us the copy of the certificate. Well, there are several grades for CELT-P and CELT-S courses. It can be pass and it can be merit, something higher, better, let's say. Oh, I can't say better, but higher result. To pass CELT-P or CELT-S, what do you need? Well, you will need to submit all portfolio tasks. Again, for CELT-S, these are 8 portfolio tasks. For CELT-P, these are 9 portfolio tasks. You submit all of them onto the platform. You upload all of them onto the platform, but 2 of these portfolio tasks may be graded as incomplete. It means that you submitted the portfolio task, but something there needs changes. Something needs to be improved. And if you decided to improve nothing there, right, this portfolio task will be graded as incomplete. So for pass, you have the right not to change, not to improve 2 portfolio tasks. Your result, your grade for teaching practice, summative, final teaching practice should be pass. The result for your TKT should be 2 or above. For merit, you have to submit all portfolio tasks and all of them have to be marked as complete. So all corrections are done, all changes are included. Your teaching practice should be graded as merit. And for TKT, you need band 3 or above. As I just told, only 2 portfolio tasks may be marked as incomplete for grade pass. What happens if more than 2 portfolio tasks are incomplete? Unfortunately, in this case, the result will be fail. But we as trainers, we try hard to support our trainees. We remind them about their portfolio tasks. We help and explain, if it is necessary, explain extra, give extra material, give extra information. So we try hard to avoid this last fail result. We want all of our trainees to pass and to get the qualification. Well, let's look at some of these parts in more detail. And first of all, we are going to look at portfolio tasks. Again, after each module, you have portfolio task. What do you do for portfolio task? You plan the lesson in details. You have the focus on the module. For example, if it is developing reading skills. In this case, you have to plan a reading lesson. You plan it and you write a lesson plan in as much detail as possible. After that, you teach the lesson. And to prove that you taught the lesson, you simply provide the materials you use during the lesson. It can be photos. If you gave your students some handouts, you can send them as well. After you taught lesson, you sit down, you think of your lesson, and you evaluate it. What you pay attention to? You think what went well during the lesson, what was good. Students did the tasks the way you wanted. They just participated actively. They completed the task with fewer mistakes than usually. Something like that. You also think what didn't go well. Okay, you might have ideal lessons, but still there are some things you would like to improve. So in this case, it is where you decide what you could have done differently. And last part is, again, as I've just told, what if you want to teach this lesson again? What will you change? What will you do differently to make it even better and more productive? And you submit it onto the platform. If everything is absolutely nice and perfect, your trainer checks the task and marks it incomplete from the first try. But still, trainer provides you with the comments. However, sometimes it happens that something in your lesson plan needs changes. So when you receive the comments from the trainer, and if your portfolio task is marked as incomplete, you have to do some changes in it and then submit it once again. So resubmit if necessary. In fact, with one portfolio task, you, in this kind of, if something goes wrong, yes, you will have to work only twice. So you won't need to submit it forever. First try, if something is wrong, then you resubmit once again, and that's it. Teaching practice. Before the lesson, you plan it. You think what you're going to do, you prepare materials, and you submit them. You upload them onto the platform before the lesson, so that your trainer has an opportunity to look at them before observation. Then you invite your trainer to the lesson. You agree when your trainer comes to you, and you teach a 40-minute lesson. If in your school you have classes that last for 1 hour and a half or longer, the trainer won't watch the whole class. It will watch only 40 minutes. After the lesson, you evaluate what you have done. You evaluate your lesson. You decide if the aims of your lesson were achieved. So let's pretend if you are teaching grammar, and your aim is that your students, by the end of the lesson, your students will be able to use this grammar when talking about, I don't know, for simple, when talking about their yesterday. After the lesson, and then when you evaluate it, you decide if your students now are able to do that or not, and why, right? You evaluate the strengths of your lesson. So actually what went well? And you have to think what, you have to focus on things that you need to improve. And finally, you receive feedback from the trainer with comments. If you evaluated your lesson properly, if you noticed all the strengths, if you noticed what these tiny little things that need improvement. My recommendation here, I don't know why, but we always try to find bad things in our teaching. And when it comes to strengths, we write a word or two. Please praise yourself. We are good. We are doing a great job. So it's important to find and to see how good we are. What you need to do the course? Yes, there are some requirements for that. First is your English. As you have to write everything in English, as you have to read everything in English, your level has to be no lower than intermediate. How will it be checked? Before we accept a client, a trainee, we have kind of short conversation, so we see if the level of English is good enough to take it. Then you need to have a group of at least 4 students. It's demand from Cambridge. Why at least 4 students? So that you can show pair work, you can show group work, and you can show how you regroup your students. One group will be enough. You don't need to teach lessons on different levels and in different groups. You can plan all the lessons and you can apply all portfolio tasks on one group. That's fine. You need access to the internet, obviously, because most of the material, most of the work is done online. And according to Cambridge materials, for each online module, you will need to spend up to from nearly 8 hours. You need some digital literacy. It means that you it's platform. For these CELT-P CELT-S courses, you will need to use a specially developed platform. So you need to understand where to tick, where to click, and you will have to do portfolio tasks. You will have to type them and send us these tasks, these files. You will need to upload them to the onto the platform. You will need to, if necessary, in some cases, you will need to make some videos. So you have to be familiar with computer at least a little bit. And you need time. Again, nearly in total for the whole module, nearly 10 hours. And that's why here is the question, how long is it? Again, according to Cambridge requirements, the course has to be from 6 to 9 months long. So actually they recommend approximately 3 weeks, from 3 weeks to 1 month for each module. Actually it takes, if you start the course in September, it finishes around May.